On August 29th, 1968, all the televisions in America shut down. There was a murmuring on the TV that some believe was the devil's voice. The televisions were off for about 25 seconds. No one knows what the issue was, and no one knows what the sound was from these TVs. There was a picture of me in my phone, sleeping. I live alone. Growing up, I always wanted to be just like my mother. I smiled as I swallowed the last bit of her, remembering how she always told me, "You are what you eat." The nightmare comes frequently, where the intruder breaks in and murders my family. As usual, I feverishly awoke to soaked sheets, but tonight, they are bloody and the knife is still in my hand. The funeral attendees never came out of the catacombs. Something locked the crypt door from the inside. "I thought I'd never know what it's like to be free of you," the widower said to his wife's gravestone. A voice behind him whispered, "You never will." I burned the dolls even though my children cried. They did not understand my fear because they assumed I moved the dolls into their beds each night. I killed my wife last week. I was so afraid that my son would ask where his mom was, but he didn't. Tonight after dinner, he finally asked me with a strange face, "Daddy, why are you carrying Mommy on your back every day?" Mom always had a strange habit of stroking my hair when I was sleeping. I never really minded it. It actually started to become reassuring. That changed when she died, but the stroking didn't stop. The grinning face stared at me from the darkness beyond my bedroom window. I live on the 14th floor. I was having a pleasant dream. What sounded like a hammer woke me. After that, I can barely hear the muffled sound of dirt covering the coffin over my own screams. I can't move, breathe, speak, or hear, and it's so dark all the time. If I knew it would be this lonely, I would have been cremated instead. I woke up to hear knocking on glass. At first I thought it was the window, until I heard it come from the mirror again. A young girl hears her mother call her name from downstairs, so she gets up and starts to head down. As she gets to the top of the stairs, her mother pulls her back and whispers, "Don't go down there. I heard it too." You get home, tired after a long day's work, and ready for a relaxing night alone. You reach for the light switch, but another hand is already there. They deliver the mannequins in bubble wrap. From the main room, I begin to hear popping. After so many years of living alone in this large house, I came to a startling revelation. In this time I had closed far more doors than I've opened. The longer I wore it, the more it grew on me. She had such pretty skin. I look into the mirror. I see my reflection blink. I never go to sleep, but I keep waking up. There was a picture in my phone of me sleeping. I live alone. As I tucked her in, my daughter said, "Goodbye, Daddy." I explained that at night we say, "Good night," not goodbye. But she replied, "Not tonight, Daddy. Tonight it's goodbye." I've always loved having the power to bring the dead back to life. I especially love standing over their graves and listening to them try to get out. I took my ex-girlfriend bowling after the breakup to clear our heads. Thanks to her, I got a strike on my first roll, but the game ended there once her head got lodged in the ball return. It's 3 a.m., and I can hear my garage door opening. I live alone. I begin tucking him into bed, and he tells me, "Daddy, can you check for monsters under my bed?" I look underneath for his amusement and see him, another him, under the bed, staring back at me, quivering and whispering, "Daddy, there's somebody on my bed." I know I sound like a million other crazy people with the belief that half the world is out to get me, but even the doctors and nurses are starting to notice all the strangers gathering at the front gates of the asylum. Put back the mirrors. We miss watching you.